There is something moving in the invisible world right now, something that cannot be measured by clocks or calendars, but can be felt in the quiet moments when you pause and listen to the language of your own heart. And perhaps you felt it already. This subtle shift, this sense that something has changed in the energy between you and someone whose soul has been intertwined with yours in ways that defy explanation. Someone who has occupied your thoughts like a prayer you didn't know you were. Saying, and the angels want you to understand that this feeling is not a coincidence, not a trick of your imagination, but a reflection of something real happening in a realm where souls speak to one another without needing words, where decisions are made not through logic or plans, but through the quiet unfolding of readiness. And in the last few hours, there's been a turning, a moment of clarity or choice within this person, a decision that has rippled out into the energetic space you share, and you are sensing it because your soul is attuned, because you've been paying attention even when you tried not to, even when you told yourself to let go, to move on, to stop wondering what they are feeling or thinking or choosing. And yet here you are, pulled back to this awareness. And the angels do not ask you to act on this feeling or to reach out or to wait in hope, but simply to acknowledge it, to honor the fact that your intuition is speaking to you, that you are connected to, a flow of information that exists beyond the physical. And this is not about whether they will return or whether a relationship will be restored, but about the profound truth that love, real love, creates threads that do not simply disappear, that the heart you once touched still carries the imprint of your energy. And in this moment, something within them has shifted, a recognition, a remembering, a quiet confrontation with what they have been avoiding, and you do not need to know the details of their decision. You do not need to understand their reasons or their timing, because this message is not about them. Not really. It is about you, about what you're being invited to see within yourself as this shift occurs. And the angels are asking you to hold this awareness gently, like a candle flame that can illuminate without burning, to notice how your body responds to the thought of this person, where you feel lightness and where you feel heaviness, where you feel hope and where you feel resistance. Because all of these sensations are information, all of these whispers are guides. And as you move through the coming hours and days, you may notice signs, synchronicities, small moments that feel too precise to be random. A song, a memory, a dream, a sudden wave of emotion. And these are not manipulations of fate, but reflections of the fact that your energies are in conversation, that something is being rearranged in the invisible architecture of your connection. And you are being asked in this sacred timing to simply be present, to allow yourself to feel whatever arises without judgment, without urgency, without the need to force understanding or resolution, because there is a deeper intelligence at work here, a wisdom that knows what needs to happen and when. And your role right now is not to control or to predict, but to remain open, to trust that you're exactly where you need to be, and to remember that every ending is also a beginning, every silence is also a preparation, and every decision made in the realm of love, whether it brings two souls together or releases them into separate paths, is always, always in service of something greater than what the mind can comprehend. But let us not turn away from the ache, from the place inside you that has been carrying the weight of not knowing, the heaviness of distance, whether that distance is measured in miles or in the silence between two people who once spoke the language of intimacy and now find themselves struggling to remember how to say even the simplest things. And this is where the heart suffers most, not in the dramatic moments of ending, but in the quiet erosion of connection, in the days that pass without contact, in the questions that multiply in the absence of answers. Does he think of me? Does she remember what we shared? Have I been forgotten? Was I ever truly seen? And these questions are not signs of weakness or desperation, but the natural response of soul that opened itself, that gave its trust and its tenderness, and now finds itself in the uncertain space of not knowing whether that gift was received or cherished or remembered. And the angels see you here, in this place of longing, and they do not judge you for it. They do not tell you to simply move on or to forget or to fill the emptiness with distraction, because they understand that real love leaves an imprint, that when you truly connect with another soul, there's a part of you that remains tethered, that continues to reach out in hope even when your mind tells you it's time to withdraw. And perhaps you've been feeling this tension acutely, this push and pull between wanting to stay open and wanting to protect yourself, between holding space for a possibility and needing to reclaim your peace. And it is exhausting, is it not, to live in this liminal space, to feel like you're waiting for something that may never come, to wonder if your patience is a form of faith or a form of self-abandonment. And the difficult truth, is that sometimes it is both. Sometimes the very act of loving someone requires us to confront our own patterns of worthiness, our own beliefs about what we deserve and what we are willing to tolerate. And this connection, this person who has stirred so much within you, is also a mirror reflecting back the places where you have perhaps given too much, waited too long, made yourself small in a hope that would make you easier to choose, easier to love. And the angels are not here to tell you that this person will return, that the distance will close, that the decision they have made will bring you the answer you have been hoping for. Because the deeper work, the work that will truly set you free, is not about them at all. It is about you learning to hold your own heart with the same tenderness you've been extending outward. Learning to ask yourself not what they need or want or are ready for, but what you need, what you are ready for, what your soul is asking you to honor. And this is not easy, especially when every fiber of your being wants to believe that love should be simple, that if two people care for each other, everything else will fall into place. But the reality is that love is not always enough, that timing matters, that readiness matters, that two people can hold genuine affection and still not be able to meet each other in a way that a true partnership requires. And perhaps this is what the angels are asking you to consider now, in this moment of awareness, as you sense that something has shifted, not whether this person will come back, but whether you are willing to continue carrying the weight of this connection alone, whether you are ready to release the need for them to validate your worth, to prove your lovability, to finally see you the way you have been seeing them. Because the distance you feel is not just physical or emotional. It is also spiritual, a gap between where you are and where they are in their own journey. And no amount of hoping or waiting or energetic pulling can close that gap if they are not ready to walk toward with the same openness and commitment that you have been offering all along. And so we arrive at the center of this teaching, the place where the external question, what will they do, what have they decided, dissolves into the more essential inquiry. What has this connection revealed about the way you relate to yourself, about the beliefs you carry regarding your own enoughness, your own deserving, your own capacity to stand in your truth without needing someone else's validation to make it real? And this is where the real transformation lives, not in the outcome of a relationship, but in the excavation of the self, the uncovering of patterns that may have been running silently beneath the surface of your awareness for years, perhaps even lifetimes. Patterns that say you must earn love through perfection, through accommodating, through dimming your needs and your voice in order to be chosen. And this person, this connection that has brought you so much joy and so much pain, has been a teacher, a catalyst, a sacred disruption that forced you to confront these patterns, to see them clearly. And now the angels are asking whether you are ready to break them, whether you are willing to step into a new way of being, one where your love for another does not require you to abandon yourself, where waiting does not mean disappearing, where openness does not mean sacrificing your boundaries. And this is not about becoming cold or closed or defensive. It is about reclaiming your center, about remembering that you are not half of a whole waiting for completion. You are already complete, already whole, already enough. And any connection that asks you to forget this, to make yourself smaller or quieter or less in order to be accepted, is not a connection that honors the fullness of who you are. And perhaps this is painful to acknowledge. Perhaps there's a part of you that wants to resist this truth, that wants to hold on to the hope that things will change, that they will wake up and realize what they have been missing, that the decision they made in the last few hours is the one you've been praying for. But the angels are gentle, and they're asking you to consider what you are praying for. Are you praying for them to choose you? Or are you praying for the clarity and courage to choose yourself, to honor your own needs and desires and timeline without waiting for permission, without needing someone else to go first? Because the power you've been giving away, the power you've been placing in their hands, is yours to reclaim. And when you do, when you stand in the fullness of your own worth and refuse to diminish it for anyone, something shifts, not necessarily in them, though it might, but in you, in the way you move through the world, in the energy you emit, in the boundaries you set, in the love you allow yourself to receive. And this is becoming the angels speak of, not a transformation that makes you more palatable or more desirable to someone who has been uncertain, but a transformation that makes you unshakable in your knowing of who you are, what you offer, and what you'll no longer tolerate. And yes, this might mean releasing this connection, or it might mean redefining it, or it might mean pausing the mystery and allowing things to unfold without forcing or controlling or clinging. But whatever it means, the foundation must be your relationship with yourself, your ability to hold your own heart, to speak your own truth, to trust your own intuition, even when it contradicts what you hope to be true, because you have been so focused on their readiness, their healing, their journey. And the angels are now redirecting your gaze inward, asking you to tend to your own readiness, your own healing, your own journey, and to trust that when you do, when you make yourself the priority, the center, the non-negotiable, everything else will reorganize itself around that new foundation. And whatever is meant for you will find you, will meet you, will honor you, not because you waited or hoped or manifested, but because you became unavailable for anything less. When the angels look at you, when they witness the depth of what you've been carrying, they do not see someone who is incomplete or unworthy or in need of rescue. They see a soul of immense capacity, a heart that has loved bravely even when it was not safe, even when the reciprocity was uncertain. And they see the beauty in that, the courage, but they also see the places where that love has cost you, where it has drained you, where it has kept you tethered to a story that no longer serves your highest becoming. And they want you to know that your willingness to love deeply is not a flaw. It is a gift. But it is a gift that must be given wisely, must be offered to those who have the capacity and the readiness to meet it with equal presence, equal commitment, equal care. And this person whose decision you are sensing, whose energy you are feeling, may or may not be that person. And the angels cannot tell you the answer because the answer is still unfolding, still being written in the choices both of you make in the coming days. But what they can tell you, what they are asking you to hear, is that your peace, your wholeness, your joy cannot be dependent on their choice, cannot be held hostage by their timeline or their fears or their inability to see what stand before them, because you're not a prize to be won or a question to be answered. You are a sovereign being, a complete soul, and your light does not dim in the absence of their recognition. It does not fade because they have been slow or uncertain or distant. And the angels are asking you to stop measuring your value by the responses you receive or do not receive, to stop letting the silence speak louder than your own inner knowing, because there's a voice inside you, a wisdom that has been trying to reach you, and it has been drowned out by the noise of wondering and waiting and hoping. And that voice is saying that you are allowed to want more, you are allowed to need more, you are allowed to walk away from what is not meeting you, even if you still love it, even if it still holds pieces of your heart. Because love alone is not enough to build a life on, and connection alone is not enough to sustain a partnership. And the angels see the fullness of your desire, your longing not just for this person, but for the feeling of being truly seen, truly chosen, truly cherished. And they want you to know that this is not too much to ask, that you are not asking for too much, that the right connection will not make you feel like you are begging or convincing or waiting endlessly for someone to be ready. And perhaps the decision this person has made is one that brings them closer to readiness. Or perhaps it is one that reveals they're still too far from where you need them to be. But either way, the angels are asking you to release the outcome, to stop trying to control or predict or energetically manipulate what will happen, because there is a greater intelligence orchestrating this. A divine timing that sees further than you can see, that knows what is best even when it does not align with what you want. And your work now is not to force or wait passively, but to continue walking your own path, to continue tending to your own growth and healing and joy, to fill your life with meaning and beauty and connection that does not revolve around one person, one possibility, one hope. Because when you do this, when you take your power back and invest in yourself, you become magnetic in a different way. Not because you're trying to attract them back, but because you're no longer leaking energy, no longer scattered, no longer abandoning yourself in the hope that someone else will return and make you whole. And this is what the angels see as your true work, your sacred task, not to win someone's love, but to reclaim your own, to stand in it, to let it be the foundation from which all else grows. And now, as we come to the edge of this conversation, as we stand together in this space where awareness has been deepened and questions have been stirred, there is one final truth the angels wish to leave with you, and it is this. You're standing at a threshold, a doorway between two rooms. And in one room is the story you've been telling, the narrative you've been clinging to, the hope that has kept you oriented toward a future that may or may not arrive. And in the other room is something you cannot yet see clearly, something that has not yet taken shape, a possibility that is being woven in the silence, in the surrender, in the moments when you stop trying to know and allow yourself simply trust. And trust is not the same as hope. It is not the same as waiting. It is not the same as belief that things will turn out a certain way. Trust is the willingness to be held by something larger than your understanding, to release your grip on the outcome, and to know, in the deepest part of yourself, that you'll be okay no matter what unfolds, that you are not at the mercy of another person's choices, that your life is not paused or on hold or dependent on a single connection. And this is where your freedom lives, not in the arrival of the answer you've been seeking, but in the realization that you do not need the answer in order to move forward, in order to live fully, in order to open yourself to love again, whether with this person or another, whether in a month or a year or a decade. Because love is not a destination, it is a current, and you are learning to swim in it rather than to drown, learning to let it carry you rather than to fight against it. And the decision that has been made, the shift you have sensed, is part of this current, part of the flow, and it will reveal itself in time, but only if you allow time to do its work, only if you stop collapsing under the weight of needing to know right now, needing to have certainty right now, needing to resolve the mystery right now. Because some mysteries are not meant to be solved quickly. Some love stories are not written in straight lines. And the angels are asking you to make peace with this, to find a kind of serenity in the not knowing, a grace in the unfolding, and to remember that every moment of your life is sacred, is meaningful, is part of a larger tapestry that you cannot see from where you stand, but that will one day reveal its pattern, its beauty, its purpose. And as you close your eyes tonight, as you breathe into the space between your ribs where so much has been held, know that you are not alone, that you are guided, that you are loved beyond measure, and that whatever comes next, whether it's reunion or release, closure or continuation, you will meet it with a strength and the softness that only a soul like yours can hold. And if you feel moved, if something in these words has touched the tender places within you, you might place your hand on your heart and whisper to yourself a single word, one word that feels like home, like truth, like the permission you've been waiting for. And you do not need to share it. You do not need to explain it. It is yours alone, a seed planted in the fertile ground of your becoming. And the angels will tend to it, will water with grace, and in time, you will see what grows. But for now, simply rest in the knowing that this is not the end. This is not the final word. There is more waiting for you, more to be revealed, more that wants to unfold. And perhaps when you are ready, you will return, you will listen again, and the next chapter of this journey will be waiting, like a door left slightly open, inviting you to step through when the moment is right.